Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, April 30th, because it's midnight. But the Celtics won their first round series against the Orlando Magic. Game 5 victory for Boston, a blowout performance. I'm looking for the score on the Jumbotron like an idiot. It's not there anymore. Final score.
We're a little tired today, fellas.
120 to 89. Final score. Jayson Tatum, monster showing. Jaylen Brown, really efficient game as well. Those two really carried the torch, and the bench played well too. So shout out to the Celtics. Great game 5. Paolo and foul trouble capitalized on it. Monster second half. Series over. Don't have to go back to Orlando. Happy for the Celtics. Happy for my wallet. Not happy that it's 12:30 at night or morning. Ugh.
Yeah, Adam Silver's gonna pay for his crimes. Don't you worry. He's been a treasonist for years with the uniforms. Now the 8:30 start time, borderline 9:00 start time on a Tuesday night. Fucking brutal. So if you guys missed the game, we're gonna do our very best to give you a coherent recap as we try and remain awake here at TD Garden. Second half was incredible. I said it to you guys in the press room. This outburst from the Celtics felt like Forrest Gump when he's running and he breaks the leg braces off and he's just like completely free to sprint. Like the Celtics spent this whole series in a consistent rock fight where they managed to pull out the majority of the games, obviously dropping game 3, but it never really felt entirely like the Celtics we've been used to, where it's just an avalanche. You finally just had Tatum and Brown go off. Both of them, they combined for 34 points in the second half. Orlando only had 40 as an entire team during that stretch. By the way, Celtics outscored them 73 to 40, so 33-point difference, quite the big deal. But they just finished this series really strong. Tatum and Brown looked uber confident. Brown had moments where he didn't look like he had like the explosive burst to the rim, but he still made do. A lot of the stuff he was talking about at the podium in those April games that meant nothing, but he was still playing. And he was like, well, I'm just trying to, get used to it or whatever. He had a really good stretch in the third quarter where he was getting inside, drew that fifth foul on Paolo that kind of changed everything. And then Tatum goes nuclear. But you also got really encouraging halves from like a guy like Pritchard or Hauser who weren't great in the Orlando games, meaning at Kia Center. And that's great. I think there is something to like the role players play better at home. I mean, there's just a buzz every time Pritchard does anything crazy. The people really resonate with him. They love him. And I think that gives him a little bit of a charge. And he had a really, really explosive fourth quarter to help ice it. So going into whoever it is they play in the next series, it's probably going to be New York, but it would be a little bit fun if it was the Pistons. Pistons, by the way, won. So that series is not over yet. They have gone 2 of 3 at MSG, 0-2 at home.
Good for the Celtics.
Good for the Celtics. They get a couple extra days off, which Jaylen seemed incredibly happy about. I'm going to take all that time. But yeah, really, really good way to win. Really good way to end the series. And good, like, momentum building. I don't want to say win because, like, you're done playing the Magic. Like, what momentum can you build? But I just think, like, the guys that weren't playing great, feeling good about themselves, is going to be, at the very least, a neutral. Probably a good thing.
Listen, that was the Magic. Not a very good team. We're going to look back a year from now and be like, Celtics in 5, gentleman sweep, classic first-round series. That is one of the best defenses in the NBA. The Celtics will, I think Matt Moore tweeted this or something similar. The Celtics will not play a defense on that level until they get to the finals, if they meet the Thunder, and only if they meet the Thunder. Every other team they could potentially face on the way there has more defensive weak points than this Magic team that they had to play in the first round. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson and Cat. The Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton and everybody. The Pistons, Cade Cunningham if they play them. The Cavs, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen can't guard Tatum on the perimeter. Darius Garland can't guard. Pretty much, period. Right? And that's all the teams that are left. That's it in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics will not have to play a team as good defensively as this current Magic team with no weak points until they get to the finals, if they get to the finals. So this was a really good first test for them, and I think it'll prepare them well. And for all the talk of physicality, for all the talk of, oh my gosh, look how close the games were, it's a 5-game series, right? Like they blew them out by 30 in this one. The other games were close, yes, but like they won by 9 in game 2. I forgot what they won by in game 1, but I think it was double digits. So
It was
really
it was handily.
outside of their games in Orlando, which were both close when they had home court advantage, the Celtics did really well in this series. And they also proved that the whole, theory of Celtics need threes to win could not be more false, right? Yes, they shot efficiently from 3 tonight. They absolutely were efficient, but they made how many? They made
11?
13 threes in this game.
Okay.
I bet you money if I look at the regular season at games that they made fewer than 15 threes, they will not have a good winning percentage. And Joe Mazzulla says it all the time. It's not about threes. It's about getting the best shot. And they did that relentlessly in this series. And they only opened the floodgates from 3 when they tired the Magic out, got them exhausted, and got them thinking about the other shots. So credit the Celtics for finding a way to win despite, give them credit, incredible Magic defense.
Yeah, they certainly. So game 1 felt the most similar to this game. It was the only other game in this series where the Celtics were at home with Tatum playing. They closed it really well. There were moments in that game, not that you thought the Celtics would lose, but you felt like the Magic were going to make it real competitive. Like they were up at halftime in game 1 as well. And the Celtics had to dig deep. They had to separate themselves in the second half, much like they did today. Game 2 was a comfortable win without Jaylen, but it still had its moments. Like tonight had its moments.
Without Jayson.
Celtics, without Jayson. Sorry, I pulled a Noah where she called him Jayson Brown on Twitter. You're welcome, Jack. I know you love that. But they did a really good job of closing the series, which I already said. But I think like they were free at the end. They were playing the basketball in the second half. Granted, Paolo is not in the game. Orlando has to run some different lineups out there, and they're just a little bit less familiar with the whole situation. But it was just so much more alike to what we had seen all season with the ball flying around and the good shots being created. And you could almost feel it with the way the players like were taking and making them. Like Pritchard getting clean looks. Pritchard probably hasn't had great looks from 3 all series. He barely shot the ball in a lot of these games. Hauser struggled in the first couple games, makes a couple, and this one has 10 points at the end of the day. Like I'm buying into the theory that this might mean something for momentum for those guys going forward. It was really good to see. And I mean, even if you want to talk about guys that didn't have like a monster scoring night or weren't shooting the shit at the ball, like Al Horford, he had 9 points, I think, at the end of the day, but he was really impactful overall, as it was he in game 4, right? Like he impacted that game quite a bit. Yeah, I'm kind of happy they're done with the Magic. You mentioned it. Tatum said it. It was a very good test for them out the gates, and now they're going to have some time off to sit and wait. As I think it's going to be Thursday for the Knicks and Pistons, right? So I'll be watching.
Yeah. Celtics, when they made 13 or fewer threes this regular season, were 6-5. When they made more than 13 threes, they were 59-16. So pretty handedly better when they made that mark, but they proved they don't have to. So give them credit for that. We got to start with the same guy we talked about 2 days ago. Holy shit, Jayson Tatum is the headliner. What an unbelievable series from Tatum in this first round. Going back to the playoffs last year, it's all can't shoot, not efficient, like got carried, whatever. He wasn't particularly efficient in game 4, was unbelievably efficient here in game 5. The true shooting numbers are going to be incredible for the series because he made like 95% of his free throws, and he got a lot of free throws in this series. I'll look up the exact numbers after I'm done and let you talk. But man, like what a unbelievable series for him individually. And the part that matters most about it is they needed him to do that tonight. They looked terrible in the first half, and he was the only one who could get anything going, right? I want to see the exact first half numbers because he had a great first half, and the rest of them were awful. offensively in the first half, Jayson Tatum was 6 of 9 for 16 points. Jaylen Brown 4 of 10. I guess everyone else was relatively efficient, but like they could not string together consistent buckets because 9 turnovers. They gave up 10 offensive rebounds in the first half alone, 4 to Anthony Black and 3 to Wendell Carter. But Jayson Tatum's there. He's scoring. He's a monster. He's giving them bucket after bucket after bucket. And then the third quarter comes around, and he takes his impressive scoring night and turns it into 13 third quarter points and just completely blows the game open. Jaylen Brown has a monster night, but man, this is going to get like lost to history, and that's kind of what I wrote about after Game 4 because first round series, 2 to 7 seed, whatever. This is like an unbelievable Jayson Tatum series that deserves way more credit than it's going to get in the grand scheme of like whatever history we're going to talk about in however many years.
Yeah, I mean, it is a first round series game, but it was like a euphoric Celtics experience watching just everything go right. The stars look super comfortable. Jaylen has that really nice stretch too, which I think is almost bigger than the Tatum stretch, not in a game sense and like a overall how do we feel sense. It's like, man, he looks pretty good even though he's banged up. Like said he wasn't feeling great in the first half, comes out in the second half, plays really well. But Tatum, I mean, you could say the same for him. Guy bangs up his wrist, sits out game 2, scores 35 points in 3 straight games. Just goes berserk. I joked with you guys in the press room where I saw someone's tweet. They were like, 2022, Tatum hurts his wrist, can't shoot anymore. 2025 hurts his wrist. All of a sudden, everything's fixed. Maybe it was the key the whole time. He's been shooting the cover off the ball, and he looked confident doing it today. He was the first Celtic to make a 3, even when they weren't going in. I think he might have had the first 2 makes for Boston, and he was just determined. You mentioned his first half. He willed them to be back in that game. I think they fell down 9 a couple times. They might have hit double digits. I'm not positive. He was going to the cup. He was consistently aggressive. He was forcing the issue. There were a few times where I was thinking to myself, he's about to do one of the watch this threes. He didn't. He drove. He would bump off, take the little fade from the block. Like, I like that he's made that a bigger point of emphasis for him in the playoffs because it just makes him it keeps the pressure on the defense. Like, he's not giving them breaks. The threes are really awesome when they go in. The second half was a prime example of that. I don't think he should not take them, but I think there are moments where it's like exactly what he recognized in this game was like, it's go time. Like, we don't have time for the luxury shots, I'll call them, because I don't think they should be considered bad shots, but it's just you can't always afford them. You know, like sometimes you got to go in the nitty gritty, driving the paint, which he did a great job of all series. Jack mentioned all the free throws he's taken. He was aggressive the entire time. I just thought it was a really mature performance from him, if that makes sense.
Yes. Tatum's true shooting before this game, Game 5, was 60.7%, and he was like ridiculously efficient in this game. That's going to skyrocket. Just an incredible first round for him. Jaylen Brown also deserves more credit than he's going to get for the series because all the like talk is probably going to be about the injury and everything like that. And we'll dive into that before we do. I need to tell you about Game Time. It's the best place for all your ticketing needs. So make sure, to check out Game Time today. I'll pull it up right here so we can take a look at what Game Time, has cooking for everybody looking to buy tickets this basketball season, this baseball season, and everything in between. My favorite feature at Game Time, which you can download the app or go to gametime.co, is the fact that you can see exactly where you're going to sit from your seat while you're purchasing tickets. Let's check out the Kendrick Lamar concert coming to Gillette Stadium this
summer. They don't have tickets for Game 1 yet?
They do. It's over there. You missed it. It's right here. You can see the concert venue exactly as you'll see from your seat. The fire emblem right here means it's the cheapest ticket in the stadium. You can also see the super deal, which means Game Time values this as the best possible deal for that price in this venue. You can toggle on and off the feature that will show you the fees before checkout, so you're not surprised with anything by the time you get there. And the biggest part to pay attention to this summer. Last minute deals, meaning you can save up to 60% off buying last minutes for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Let's say you're trying to go to a baseball game, but you're going the day of. Last minute deals on Game Time have you covered. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Back to Jaylen. This dude is so clearly hurt, right? He talked about it a little after the game, like, yeah, it was bothering me, had to get through it, whatever. Like you said, very eager for that rest. I don't blame him. He still turned out an extremely positive impact series. He had some rough moments. The first half in Game 5 wasn't great. The first half in Game 4 wasn't great. But he constantly pushed the pace to get the Celtics offense going and avoid a set defense, which Tatum talked about after the game, and I thought was a very important part of their Game 3 response. And he was so efficient. For as efficient as I said, Tatum was coming to this game, 60 true shooting percentage. Jaylen had the same, right? He was 9 of 18. He was 9 of 18 from the field in this game, and I believe 2 of 4 from 3. He is not doing everything that he can do, right? He is very clearly limited in terms of his burst, in terms of getting to the rim. But he had a 36-point game 2 when Tatum was hurt, and he has continued to be efficient and effective in a smaller role since Tatum's been back and dominating. He was awesome this series, and the Celtics could not have won it without him.
Yeah, like sneaky efficient. You look up and you're like, wait, he's what? What's his shooting on the night? I said it before, I'll say it again. Jaylen had this incredible stretch in the third quarter where he really was the one that kickstart. Maybe he like jumped the car, like he pulled his. I don't know what kind of car Jaylen would drive. Whatever. I'm tired. I'm not as sharp. He pulled it up, opened the hood, opened the Celtics hood, jumped the battery with a bunch of drives to the basket. Like Jack said, even in the first half, he was getting out in transition. He draws that fifth foul in Paolo, which just changes the game. And he was getting buckets, going to the rim, and got himself going. Started making some threes. I just think Jaylen, when he's been good, has played very under control. There have been moments, and I said this to you up there, I'm like, how does he always fall down? And it happens. You mentioned it. He had rough halves in this series. They will be burned into people's brains, and that's okay. It's part of the Jaylen experience. But when he really dials in, gets to his spots, he's probably going to make the shot. He's proven that he's efficient in his areas, and that's great. The Celtics can utilize that in the playoffs. They're going to need him in the later rounds. That's one thing I was worried about with the knee thing, and I'm still like cautiously worried about. I don't think it's sky is falling bad, but you never know. Like as these series go on, the more games he plays, does it affect him a little bit more? Is he not able to be as useful? All those things are a real question, but today's not the day for the questions. Today is the day for praise, and I think he was a driving force in that third quarter explosion. He might have been the match that lit the fuse.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I need to peel back and on a good performance day, be a little
Time to get mean.
Kristaps was atrocious again. Like he was unplayable, and he played himself off the floor. He only played 21 minutes in this game and only had 3 fouls.
Didn't start the second half.
Nope, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal and block. He had fewer rebounds, or as few rebounds as any single person who logged a rebound in this game outside of Baylor and Keita. Out of anybody who played 20 minutes, he had the fewest rebounds, tied with Sam Hauser, who had 2 of the most important rebounds of the game. Might I add? Shout out to Hauser's rebounding. I don't know if it was this specific Magic team that bothered him, but this is not a like it's gotten past the point of this isn't the series, in my opinion, for him. Like he is missing shots in spots that he should and needs to make against defenders that are quite literally more than a foot shorter than he is. And what's worse, he seems incapable of rebounding the basketball. Just can't do it. They bounce right by him. They go to the Magic. He can't box out. Maybe it gets better in another series, and I do think there's a pathway for him to be a lot more effective against the Knicks because of the run drop defense. Pistons might be another struggle, but they also run a little bit of drop with Jalen Duren. It's not a good start to the playoffs, and luckily they have enough depth to make up for it. Pritchard was good this series, I think, despite his shooting. Sam Hauser turned it up in the last couple games. Al Horford is obviously Al Horford, so you have that. Obviously you need Jrue's health to get that full starting five from last year's playoffs, but I'm getting a little worried about Kristaps because it's been that bad.
Well, it is funny because you said this earlier in the series and said it again during this little take. It was maybe not the series for Kristaps, and you're starting to feel it's beyond that, which is fair. I don't think it's like a jump in the gun type take. I don't think he's been very good. I think some of the things he's came up short doing are a bit concerning, but at the same time, this is not the series for him, and we've only seen this series, so we don't really know yet. I wouldn't be shocked if he comes out
it's like
in the next series and is playing a little bit more comfortably.
yeah.
I don't know exactly what the formula is, because I think you are right in the sense that he's bothered, and it's beyond, like, I'm sorry, Corey Joseph being face to Porzingis' Celtics across his chest as he tries to take a shot in the paint isn't affecting him, no matter how hard he's keeping him from moving forward. It's more of what's going on in Kristaps' head. He's probably got the yips a little bit. Got to shake it off. Got some days off here. Probably going to be the Knicks they see in the second round. Porzingis was really good in some of these Knicks games this year. Most specifically, that last one they played at MSG that went to overtime. He has the 3-point barrage, hits the one from the Knicks logo. At the same time, he did take a three from the logo today. Not in the best taste, but I think it does say maybe he doesn't feel like he's not capable either. I think the fact that this may not have been the series for him, he did play himself off the floor today. It's a fact. But him not being able to get going in other aspects of the game may also have affected his offensive rhythm. I'm holding out hope for that. I'm not saying you're wrong to feel the way you do, because I think the signs are there. He certainly hasn't been very good, but there's still time.
There's plenty of time. And like on my worry scale, I would say I'm about a 5 or a 6. Like I might just be teetering on the edge of like worried to the point of noting it. But it is what it is. We'll see. For me, it was just like, yes, it's a physical series. Yes, it might not be for him. But even when he was put in the spot to where it could be for him against a guy like Corey Joseph, he still failed miserably. And I think that was part of what worried me and what might worry me a little bit moving forward. But regardless, I don't know how many other individual performances we want to talk about. We can talk about the bench as a whole, though, because I think that's
Bench
notable.
is back.
After an entire series where they were pretty lifeless isn't a fair word, but they were taken out of the equation. Huge game, 29 points combined in this one for Cornette, Hauser, and Pritchard. Shot a combined, 11 of 15 from the field. And Cornette was 3-3 and Hauser was 4-4. Great game from them. I thought Cornette was good in the pick and roll with Tatum, getting him going. He filled up the stat line 9-4-2-1-1. Hauser had 10 and 2 rebounds, and they were very good 2 rebounds. He came in the first quarter when the Celtics were fumbling and failing to close possessions, and he closed a few himself. Missoula praised his defensive rebounding earlier in the year, and it showed up here. And then Pritchard was great. He scored a little bit later in the game, but his defense, Jamal Mosley praised it before the game, and he showed it off in this one. So good for the bench for finally finding a way to get in there and make an impact. And I think the Celtics did a good job of getting them involved.
Yeah, I think the bench finding their footing is just really important. All three of those guys have had moments this year. Obviously, Pritchard, 6th man of the year. He's been consistently impactful off the bench. Cornette is somebody who we are all like talking like, man, they have a problem now because he's been so good this season. He wasn't really that impactful in the early parts of this series. Has a really solid game today. He's involved. He's physical on the glass. He's preventing Orlando from continuing their offensive onslaught on the glass. They need him to be ready when his number's called. especially considering that Kristaps hasn't been fantastic, as we just talked about. So getting Pritchard, Cornette, Hauser, who made some threes down in Orlando, continued that trend today, made his in this game. You got to have those guys firing against the good teams. You're going to need it. The depth is what separates you from a team like New York on paper. I think the Celtics are far better schematically than New York. They're more diverse defensively where they can switch and they don't have the seals to go after. But on paper, at the beginning of the season, it's like, wow, New York traded for 2 wings that can defend the Jays. They have Cat, who's a essentially mirror of Porzingis in terms of his offensive skill set. And then Brunson is this incredible borderline MVP level scoring guard. They have a really good set of guys to compete with the Celtics. The difference is they have no bench because they had to gut that to go and get the wings to defend, to get Cat. That's where you make your money. Pritchard, Hauser, Cornette, Horford's technically a bench guy. Those guys giving you a boost is what makes you the team to beat in the East. Cleveland, the reason why Cleveland has been so good is because their team runs deep too. That's what new CBA ball looks like. It's just guy after guy after guy ready to go. Boston has to have theirs ready when it's time to draw the guns.
Yeah, agreed. Derek was good. I don't know how much we need to talk about Derek. He was fine. He didn't really have the best game. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He was okay. He had a good series, but tonight just wasn't his night. We can talk about Jrue a little bit, though, after I tell you about CLNS Media Network. If you're listening to this, you're listening on How About Them Celtics, the YouTube channel. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe there. But also make sure to jump on over to CLNS Media, the YouTube channel, and CLNS Celtics All Access. CLNS Media, you'll find every single Celtics press conference from the locker room to the podium, Joe, Jason, Jaylen, anything you're looking for. And then on Celtics All Access, you'll find a bunch of great podcasts. You can find the Garden Report. You can find You Got Boston with Noah Dazzell. Make sure to check out First the Floor as well. We love those guys. Check out all the great podcasts across all the channels, everything like that. Check out their history channel, All Access, the main channel for the pressers, everything you need. Check it out there. Make sure to turn the notification bell on there. And here on How About Them Celtics, turn on that notification bell and leave a like. We'd appreciate it very much. Leave a comment down below if you're hearing this. Comment, what should they comment, Sam, if they hear this right now?
Should comment that the Pistons got life. Pistons have not
life.
perished.
Pistons have not perished. Make sure to comment that if you're hearing me right now. But anyways, back to Jrue. I'll just ask you, what's your concern level about Jrue Holiday right now as we're sitting here recording this?
Long term, it's not very high. I just think the realistic take is he may need a little bit of time to get his hamstring right. Like, if there's a strain on the injury report, that's not something we should all be like, this guy is so soft, needs to get out there and play. We need you. What are you rested for? Blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that's some shit. Like, Porzingis had a soleus strain to his calf last year. He missed 3 rounds. It happens. I don't know if this Jrue strain is serious. I think all of the buzz has been it's a lower grade strain, so it's probably like a week or 2 weeks. I just kind of trust that they're going to let him back out there when he's ready. I think he's a really important player to this team. I think having, from this standpoint, the Pistons not being perished, it's pretty nice. Give you a couple extra days off maybe. Have more time to recover for him and the other guys who Jayson Tatum said are a little bit banged up. I'd say my concern level for Jrue is like 3 or 4. I don't think it's going to be a long-term problem, but it's just a real problem right now, and they just have to wait for it to subside.
Yeah, I'll probably be around 4 or 5. I don't think you necessarily need Jrue for the next round. You need Jrue for anything past that. So get him healthy, figure it out, find a way to deal with it before then. You need Jrue for a Cavs series. You need Jrue for a Thunder series, should those be the way the bracket breaks. So we'll see what happens with Jrue. We'll see how the hamstring goes down, but all we can do is sit and wait and keep ourselves updated. But Celtics advance to the next round. I don't know if there's anything else we missed that you wanted to talk about in particular. Unbelievable second half from these guys. It was incredible to watch the floodgates open, and Paolo getting foul trouble, and from there it was just kind of over. It was over. I think that's pretty much all I got. Jaylen Brown after the series, when I asked him about like him staring down the bench a little, didn't seem like he was too invested or he didn't really care about the Magic anymore. He's just like, yeah, nothing bad to say about him. It is what it is. So I wonder if I had pushed more, he would have given me some, but I just think these guys are like, it happened. It is what it is, and we move forward from there.
Yeah, I just think it's part of the competitive nature. I mean, he kind of said that playoff basketball, blah blah blah. Maybe something said something to him as he shot the three, but I mean, if you're Jaylen and you just had what did he have, 15 in the second half? You make 2 threes in the process. You're probably feeling pretty good. Like nobody's to be able to tell you shit. So I don't blame him for maybe let him know a little bit. Maybe he said goodbye to them. Told him he hopes they find their way home. Whatever.
Indeed, it's like when Joe wished the refs a Merry Christmas a couple months ago. Anything else you got? Knicks Pistons deciding where the Celtics might play next. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, and you can knock on wood or whatever if you're listening. I think either one of those series will be easier than this series. So if you take any solace in that, take solace in that. If not, maybe it could go to 6. Maybe it could go longer. If it's the Knicks, it will not be as much of a toll. The way the Celtics will lose games and get affected will be much different than them getting hurt. So you can keep that with you.
Jack and I have probably like 4 days of recording in front of us to talk about this, but the Celtics are a combined 7-1 against these two teams. And the one loss is not against the team that has more wins in the series right now.
It's true.
The Knicks have been a fucking joke against the Celtics this year. They're pathetic. Their fans had to cancel their championship parade in the streets of Manhattan today. You have to feel for them a little bit. Sad team. They look like they're banged up too. Like we watched the clip of Brunson step on the part of the MSG court that just moved and like tweaked something. He tweaked something in the last game. Josh Hart got hurt.
Keep Kristaps away.
Hey man, Kristaps went to Florida. He didn't get hurt. Clap it up. Even though he had a little sleeve on his calf today.
He did.
All right.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. Sorry to Nick's Film School. I was supposed to record with him Friday. Looks like it might be a little later, guys. Didn't get the business done. I don't know, man.
Or not.
Sorry, Andrew. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in.
They have business to attend to.
It's true. Let us know what you think of the series down below. It is 1:07 in the morning. I'm probably gonna be here till.
Dude, I'm not in Rhode Island yet.
No, I'm probably gonna
get
be
me back to
like,
God's country.
I'll probably stay here till like 2:30 editing, and we'll see what happens. I'll let Sam wrap it up, and yeah, go ahead.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of Game 5 and the Pistons. They have not perished. Subscribe and hit the bell. We're here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are the morning after each game, and other videos are on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us streaming pregame live to the best of our ability. That is, if we're here, it's usually kind of tough to do so, but we are on this channel. We're on CLNS, so come hang out. It's a lot of fun. The chat's usually pretty live. It's a good time. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are up there. So if you just want those, go ahead, follow. They'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We're reading your emails every single time we record. As you hear this, we'll be recording later today. So get them in, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's just the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jackson1NBA. His TikTok is at Jackson1NBA. He's pumping out some good content there that also goes on Twitter. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.